Good morning, everybody. This is the Personal Playlist Podcast, fondly referred to as the P3 on Voice Ed Radio. I'm Noah Daniel.
Music is a world within itself, with a language we all understand.
I am so excited to have Jonathan So here on the Personal Playlist Podcast today. Jonathan is preparing to present at TEDx Kitchener Ed, and I'm going to see him. I'm very excited about that. He is an instructional technology and math coach for the Peel Board, teaches grade 6, has 3 kids, promotes creativity, exploration, and inquiry. Welcome, Jonathan. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm great. I've had a fiery day. Are you excited about tomorrow?
Just a little. More nervously anticipating.
Have you watched a lot of TED Talks, or this is just something you always wanted to do just because you wanted to talk about what you love?
I've watched TED. I think every educator has those moments of watching TED Talks. But yeah, it's been an interesting goal of mine. It's just try it and to experience it. So I'm really excited to try it and see how it goes. It's only 10 minutes, but it'll be like the longest 10 minutes of my life, I'm pretty sure.
Well, 10 minutes is a really long time. I remember the first time I had my students do a 1-minute pitch, and then they had to extend it to 5 to 7 minute TED-like talk. They were like, how am I going to do that? So that's double that. So that's a solid amount of time, 10 minutes.
I know, but it'll go by quick.
It will go by quickly. But I'm sure you have a lot to say. And this conversation is about having a lot to say about songs that you've chosen. So I want to get into the conversation about when you look back and you think about a song. You sent me a song that right away, for so many years, this particular song, I didn't actually know the right words to, because you have to process the numbers. So do you want to lead us into this piece of nostalgia and why you chose it?
Yeah, so my nostalgia song is 25 or 64 by Chicago. I first learned this song when I was 16 years old playing my trumpet. And my trumpet teacher's like, you need to learn some fusion rock, hardcore jazz stuff. And I'm like, what? And I fell in love more with the music side to it. I've never been one. It's interesting. When you asked me to pick songs, it was really hard because to me, it's more about the melodies and the music and the imagery that's kind of created with it all, more so than the actual lyrics behind things. But this song has amazing trumpet melodies and licks that you wouldn't believe. And it just made me fall in love with jazz and trumpets. And I know there's a lot of controversy with the song too, but
well, there's certainly debate over the title of the song.
Yeah.
And it's definitely a great way to showcase the horn section of any kind of music. But that song is usually the last song they play at a show. So it has a lot in it, and it was a Peter Cetera song, which I don't know if that makes it better. Or I really liked. I liked that when he was in the lead. So, do you think it's a time of day, or do you think it has another meaning behind the song?
I don't know. You know the time period.
I do. So there's a lot of conversation about
whether it's a meter or it was taking something. I heard it was banned in certain countries for a while. And
oh, really? Why?
Yeah.
Because I hear about a banned book or song, I want to listen to it right away.
Oh yeah.
Why do you think? Why was it banned?
Because of the controversy around it. Out in Asia, it was no, we're not playing this song anymore because of all the lyric or innuendos to drugs and whatnot. So, but I mean, I fell in love with Chicago after that, and I was 16 years old, and it wasn't something that I don't know, in the 90s you kind of weren't listening to jazz fusion.
I was listening to it, but yeah, I'm a little bit old. So that's cool. music is amazing because it's timeless. So it's so cool that you discovered it. Did you get really into the band after? Or it was just this song that really compelled you?
No, the band in general, like most of their songs, like Saturday in the Park, like a lot, basically anything with a huge trumpet lick into it. I was like, yeah, that's the song I want to play. I was first trumpet in my jazz band and just like loved hitting all the high notes, like just belting them out. So
do you still play?
I play for leisure now. So I pick it up every so often. I know if some of my coworkers hear it, they're going to laugh at me because, I pretty much play at Remembrance Day ceremonies now. And whenever I feel like it's for fun. No, it's
not a highly coveted horn.
Not really. People think so. And they think it's easy to play because they're like, it's only 3 keys. And you're like, yeah, no. For every combination, there's 7 different notes that you can play. And they're like, oh.
That's some good information. Thank you.
Yeah. That, or if you can find one, if you can find like an instrument, you're guaranteed to have that instrument. Like if you can buy one, the music teacher will be like, yeah, you got the instrument, you own it. So.
Okay, so that's an angle. Nice, man.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is Chicago 25 or 6-4, your nostalgic song.
Waiting for the break of day, searching for something to say, flashing lights against the sky, giving up, I close my eyes, sitting cross-legged on the floor. 25 or 6-4. Staring blindly into space, getting up to splash my face, wanting just to stay away, wondering how much I can take. Should I try to do some more? 25 or 6-4.
So, wow, nostalgia. You were 16. What do you think about when you hear that song?
It's just the energy, like it just brings back memories of like, I went to an art school, so like a lot different experience of high school than most. It was probably like, brings back memories of my friends, like just playing, just having fun.
Which art school did you go to?
I went to Cawthra Park in Peel.
Okay.
So Peel grad, Peel teacher.
That's amazing. Homegrown.
Yeah. But it, to me, it's like almost like simpler times for me. Like, as you get older, things get more complicated. I know I'm pretty sure my parents laugh at me now if they hear this, but
For sure. Yeah.
Right? You just having fun, like relaxing, playing, enjoying the moment. Which is interesting because the song is just like, they're stuck in understanding what to do with life almost, and not really understanding where to go, but there's this awesome beat behind you, and of course you have the other connotations to things. So
right, which can certainly be interesting and conversational. But speaking about journeys, your second song, your song that is your identity song, is a song from a movie that evokes a journey, not just a physical journey, although there are a few, even though there's one major one, but really like a journey through life, kind of what you were saying about what your parents would perceive of your state of mind. There's this movie and this idea from this movie about how like that time in your life is just, a quick snapshot, and then later you forget it. But in the moment, it was so deep and so real. And, with the boys talking into the night and all these great quotes that came out of it, and a lot of swear words I can't use right now. But the version, I was thinking about how to talk about the version of this particular song and thinking about this generation. I was thinking maybe they know the Pentatonics. I don't know if they know this artist, but do you want to introduce the song and why you chose it?
So the song I chose is Stand By Me, but the version I chose was the rockapella version. So like Pentatonics being acapella, you probably know more, being the more famous group right now that's out there, but rockapella was probably one of the very first mainstream acapella groups that kind of inspired a lot of more acapella groups to head out there. I know there's tons of them in university and
sure. I saw places, Pitch Perfect 1 and 2,
and now there's 3.
I hear my daughter saying she has to see it with me in the theater, which is cool. I'm so happy she wants to see it with me, but yeah, it's tough to watch with your kids because I really like it. Anyway.
But again, this brings back memories of things, and lately I've been on a really big journey of just reflecting about teaching, about being out there as well, like the fact that as innovator educators and really what the support do you have around you being an innovator, and the real support is all your friends and obviously your fellow educators, and like people like you who I've met online and
never spoken to until right now. Right? How fun is that?
But it's the energy that you receive from them, and the fact that I know deep down inside all of us out there are together with people, right? Like and that's really what gravitated me to this song. And then of course the a cappella version, the fact that I used to sing in a barbershop chorus. And,
you didn't.
I did.
We have to talk about that for a minute. How long ago was used to?
When I was just out of university, so I was 20.
Like, what did you sing in the barbershop chorus?
I sang bass. So my friend has done it forever. One of my best friends. He's sang it since he was 12 years old with his dad, and he was always trying to get me out to come to the chorus and sing, and of course being a Cathra grad and music and everything else, we sang all the time. But I was like, I don't have time. So finally in university, I had time for 1 year, and I sang in a barbershop chorus for a while with his dad and him, and he's still going on strong. He's a Ontario Championship quartet and everything, but
wow,
I kind of had to put it aside along with everything else. But yeah, I actually sang with one of our superintendents, and
you did.
yeah, he's his wife was my principal, and a lot of connections all the way around.
That is so cool. So just in terms of your identity, you just going back to that for a second. So you chose the song more as a reflection of how powerful it is to have people support you and collaborate with you. Is that accurate?
Yeah. And also thinking about like myself too, that no matter what, like I'm by my friends. Like, it's just, I think that's what we, and it goes back to the TED Talk that I'm doing tomorrow. The thought that people matter, the relationships that we have with everyone matter, and when we think of mental health, we think of our lives as teachers are sometimes very isolated, sometimes very alone in our four walls, and we forget that there are people around us that are supportive. That sometimes we even forget, like, it's easy to go down the dark path, I guess, of losing your passion, losing sight of who you are. And I wanted to make sure that I know that I tell my friends and I tell my coworkers that they're important, that I'm there, that no matter what, that I'm standing by them, and I know that they're standing by me.
I think that is wonderful and timely, not just in advance of your TED Talk, but that's what we've been talking about so much on Twitter and in these critical conversations, is about relationship building with the students, with each other in teams, and for ourselves, because we're not alone. We don't live in silos. We're globally connected, but that can also be really hard. So sometimes we need to be locally connected. And that feeling of knowing that somebody's there to stand by you, even if not to bounce ideas off of, but even just to be silently there with you and stand by you, it's pretty awesome. So why don't you introduce the song, even though I already gave it away?
So this is Stand By Me, sung by Rockapella.
Okay.
When the night is come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. Oh, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, or the mountain should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. So darling, stand by me, stand by me, stand by me, stand by me, won't you stand by me, stand by me, stand by me.
That version is more relationshipy than the other version. Not just because of the movie, but there's something more intimate and personable about that version. So cool. Thank you so much for bringing it here. And I think that's a great way to listen to the song, but also to think about the power of voice as a metaphor. And how everybody can work together to collaborate and create something with each of those voices standing on their own in an a cappella group or in life.
Yeah.
Cool. Your Pick Me Up song really, really surprised me. Like, I like to rock out to this song and this band who, I don't know if you know the story, but there's a story that I heard floating around about a night with B.B. King and Jimi Hendrix at some cafe. Did you ever hear this story?
No.
And there was an accident and somebody made a comment and they said, oh, that's a great name for an album. And somebody else said, no, that's a great name for a band. And then that's how the band became the name of this band. But please tell me how this is your Pick Me Up song and how you use it, because it's so like chill and cool. So tell me about when you turn it on and tune in and lighten up.
So it was interesting when you asked me to pick songs, going back to that dark moment. So in a way, it was I was kind of in that moment, but I again, going back to being 16 and Chicago and my trumpet teacher, Blood, Sweat and Tears was another rock fusion jazz band that he's like, you got to listen to this. And I'm like, okay. So it goes back to the lyrics, the trumpet, the way that everything's layered upon each other. When I hear this song, it just makes me, I don't know, I just sit there and I just tap my foot. I love the licks in it. I know it's laid back, but it just, I don't know. It just takes away everything.
I wasn't judging you. I was I didn't mean to say it that way. I was curious because like now that you're unpacking it, I see that it has a lot of different things that like it helps you unwind, but it also makes you happy.
Yeah. It brings back really good memories, and just, the layers that are in this song and the way that everything just kind of comes together is just musically really, really cool. And that's what makes me happy and like energizes me, is just hearing music that layers upon layers and upon, that's why I love acapella. I love actually jazz in general, but, and of course anything with trumpet in it. If your daughter picks up trumpet, you'll see this. It's just something about trumpet players that we just gravitate towards loud and obnoxious sounds things. But it's just a lot of cool songs. This is Spinning Wheel by Blood, Sweat and Tears. And I love the group too. And it's really cool.
Okay, let's play it.
What goes up must come down. Spinning wheel, got to go round. Talking about your troubles, it's a crying sin. Ride a painted pony, let the spinning wheel spin. You got no money and you got no home. Spinning wheel, all alone. Talking about your troubles and you never learn. Ride a painted pony, let the spinning wheel turn. Did you find the directing sign on the straight and narrow highway? Would you mind the reflecting sign? Just let it shine within your mind and show you the colors that are real. Someone is waiting just for you. Spinning wheel, spinning true. Drop all your troubles by the river.
So that song, what does it do? Like it helps you let go. I don't have that as one of the definitions of this pick-me-up song, and I think I should add it because I call it, I used to call it for my students a theme song, and then some students said, I don't like the word theme song. What about an anthem? So I used to call it a theme song / anthem. And then when I made this into the Personal Playlist podcast, I like that different people interpret it differently. Motivational, pick me up, but inspirational. But this is like a new one that I would like you to help me define and name. This is like,
So like when you asked me to find a song that makes me like, I saw it as like, makes me happy, makes me want to just forget about everything. And it just brings back like so many cool, like I picture myself sitting on stage. There's like three of us, like you got your trumpet, you have your sax, you have like trombone, and we're just like literally like ba-da-da-da, and you go to your right, like you're kind of swinging back, you go to your left, we're making fools of ourselves on stage, as the traditional like lift your trumpet up, dance a little bit, and then lift your trumpet back. It brings back the cowbell. I don't know, there's something about a cowbell. And the SNL skit.
I just conjured the SNL skit exactly. That's so funny. I'm going to have to put that in the blog. That is so funny. Oh my God. Yeah, okay. So I think
and it makes me just laugh.
Okay, a smile song. I'm adding that in as a possibility. Thank you for doing that. I'm so happy. Okay, so I noticed that you were struggling for a while there, and I actually like that feature of this experience because not only does it show it's a critical thinking task, but sometimes it's like collaborating with yourself. Stephen Hurley just gave this etymological definition of collaboration, and I can't stop thinking about it. It's like this labor piece that we have to understand. There has to be a struggle. So I think it makes it sweeter in the end. So now that you've struggled and chosen your 3 songs, how do you feel about them?
It's just, listening to all your podcasts.
Have you listened to them?
Yeah, I've listened to most of them. Yeah,
so great. I really like them.
But like the common theme that I think everyone has is that they all seem to have struggled with finding songs, and I think it's because you're often in this moment in time, and the songs kind of, like, who knows what'll happen in a month or two. Mm-hmm. Like, maybe my songs could change. Like, the idea that music kind of transcends moments, and there are certain things that always speak to you, but I could have picked numerous things, but at that moment, these are the 3 that spoke. And I love it really did make me think about things, and I'm still struggling with words, trying to figure out how to come up with this to communicate this struggle. But it was an interesting process to think about 3 songs. I mean, when you first asked me to find 3 songs, I kind of looked at my wife and I'm like, really? What? 3 songs? You want me to do what?
Well, it sounds like
I can't do this.
Quite a repertoire too, so that makes it more complicated.
I love music, and so I will literally listen to anything that has a really good musicality to it. And I'm very
Matthew
eclectic
Aldridge
in that
said
sense.
The same thing. Actually, you guys should hang out. Listen.
We do.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah, he lives like 20 minutes down the road.
That's funny. Why didn't I know that? Okay, now I know that. Awesome.
And we present together too. So.
And tomorrow you're presenting.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. Okay, so you're feeling good about it, and you're feeling good about tomorrow, and you've told us about a time in your past when certain music was introduced to you, a reflection of something you think about a lot in terms of relationships, and then something that just makes you smile. And through this whole process, we learned a lot about your musicality. We learned a lot about your positive energy, and I'm so happy that you came on the show. I want to thank you so much. Is there anything you want to say before we go?
No, thank you so much for having me, though. It's really cool having the experiences to reflect and think and just share ideas.
I think that's another really good point. You know, Stephen was saying that Voice Ed Radio has really become about narrative. And I think that's one of the coolest parts about this podcast is it starts with music, but it ends up being narrative. And that's something that really helps me connect with people. So I'm so glad that you took the time off, especially because you're presenting at TEDx Kitchener Ed tomorrow. So thank you so much for channeling your energy this way and helping to create a really cool P3 experience. I'm going to play you out. Thank you for joining us on the P3, the Personal Playlist Podcast. I'm Noah Daniel. This is Voice Ed Radio, and I hope you have a fantastic day.